I put it like this. When I was younger, she used to always be like, "You need to come see your kid. You need to come see your kid. You need to come see your daughter. Hey, you need to spend time with her. You need to spend time with her." And it was like, "Oh, I'll come see her next week. I'll come see her. The weekend after. I got to work this and that." And as I got older, I'm like, "Hey, I had more time." And I'm like, I want to see it. Let me get her this weekend. Let me see it. So it's like now the roles are reversed. It's like, oh, well, now you can't see her this weekend. Now you can't see her. And it's like, okay, but when I was younger, you wanted me to see her all the time. So what's going on now? Now that I'm older and I want to see her, she wants to see me. She wants to come over. And it's like, so what's going on? And I don't know. Like, it was like the more you fight for it, the more they try to take it away. And it's like when they're not fighting at all, it's like they're like trying to push it on you.
I love you, Daddy.
This is For Fathers, a podcast for fathers to uplift and encourage each other. Because we are the forefathers of the next generation. That understanding. This is episode 94. And I got my man, Curtis Jenkins. Hey, tell everybody what's up.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Just here. Basically doing this for fathers with my man. I'm trying to get right, uplift the community, give us, a little take on what's going on. And it's good to be here and to speak and get it out with, a fellow brother like myself. And that's really trying to make it good for fathers and take care of the kids and make sure that everything is going good, So I'm glad to be here, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm so happy to have you, man. It's crazy because we met I was on the school field trip at Carowinds. I said, man, you see me with the kids. I said, man, hey, you got to come to my podcast, bro.
Yeah. Once you told me that, I was excited. I was like, wow, like, I was honored, bro. I was definitely honored to even, you wanted me to come there. I was like, yeah, I'm glad I'm here. I was excited to do it.
Yeah, man. And that's the point of the podcast, bro. Like, this is to give men a voice. And I feel like, I don't know how you feel, but I know during my, my experiences as a father, I feel like I ain't had no voice. I felt like I wasn't worth it. I felt like I was just a dollar bill. I felt like I didn't have no say in it all. And so, like, God put on my heart, man, create a podcast. Create a podcast, man. Do you ever felt that way?
Man, I still feel that way. Like, I still feel that way. Like, honestly, it's not like the fact that it's just being a dollar bill, but it's like, I get it as men, we are the providers. So we have to, provide. And that's what we do. So I understand that and I'm cool with that. But it's just at the same time, a little bit of appreciation will go along with a little bit of appreciation, but even if you don't get it, it's like, I'm happy to see like the kids happy. So my main thing is like, keeping them basically leveled, but at the same time, trying to, give them a little bit more than what I had growing up, and I had a decent, decent upbringing, but it was like, there's certain things I wanted that I seen like everybody else had, like people have the sweet 16s and all that stuff. So like my daughter's turning 16 this year. So I'm focused on trying to save up to get her a car. That's my big thing. Because when I was 16, I was in school and I seen, kids, they getting cars, and I'm like, what? I'm like, they're getting a car? I'm trying to, change the stigma and basically do that and just do stuff different,
I mean, that's what fatherhood is. Well, that's what growth as a man, as a person is, doing better than what you came from and what you know, right? I mean, if you're not growing, I heard one time, if you're not growing, you're dying. So you might as well do the next generation better than what you had. And even any type of growth, I feel like, is something worth a milestone, worth to be praised, worth to say something about. Because
I
some people may feel like, oh, I didn't get my daughter a car at 16, but you still did good things that was better than the last generation. So growth is what it's all about.
agree. Yeah, like even if you do what you can. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's the main thing, is just doing what you can and actually just being there. Because that's what I noticed is mainly being there and showing up and doing what you can do at that time. So even if she's like happy with little things, I'm cool with that. But it's just as much as I can do, I try to do. And it's like, I'm not perfect. Sometimes, I'm not there all the time, but like for the big events, I try to be there too. It's crazy, man. This whole fatherhood thing is crazy. It's
It's a
it,
journey, ain't it?
it definitely is, man. It
It's
definitely
a
is.
journey.
It,
And so I have two daughters that don't live with me. So I
right.
definitely have guilt, if you will. I think it is guilt that I can't always be there. Like when they graduated from kindergarten and stuff, I was there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the
But
big event.
yeah, but like the little things, like you want to see them every day. So
Yeah.
I guess me, the podcast, I write, I do poetry, all that kind of stuff. So all that kind of helps me. I pray and I seek faith and all that kind of stuff. So that helps me. So what are some of the remedies or things that helped you in times that you couldn't be there but you wanted to be there, and it just didn't work out that way?
It was in the beginning. I would say it was more of a distance thing. Like I said, I was back and forth from New York when I was younger, and I was mostly kind of focused on myself. And as I got older, I started realizing like, I wasn't there as much, and that's when I started feeling that guilt. That's when I was like, I wish I would have did more when I was younger. But when I was younger, I didn't have much to give. So that's the thing about having kids at a younger age. You kind of are still focused on yourself and still focused on, doing things for you, that you're not really focused so much on them. But as you get older, you realize like, man, I kind of messed up, and excuse me, but I'm saying like you should have basically tried to, do more when you was younger. But as you get older, you realize like you feel that guilt. That's what I'm trying to say. As you get older, you feel more of the guilt that you didn't have felt when you was younger, because you were so focused on yourself. But I really recognize that as I got older. I'm just like, man, there's other things like just being there, like little times like kindergarten. I missed the graduation from my oldest because my oldest doesn't live with me. So my two youngest lives with me, and they're here. I was there for everything for them, but I feel like she gets resentment, my oldest. Like I feel like she feels a little resentment to my two younger kids because I wasn't there as much. And that makes me feel guilty, you know, being there.
So what you like, man? That's hard.
Yeah.
That's real hard because I worry about that because my kid's still young. 7, 5, 4.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, because my youngest gets a lot more attention because she lives with me. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like, how have you combated that? I guess like, what do you do? Because that's hard, bro. Like, I don't know. I have
It's
no idea how you do it.
um like how you see me at Carowinds, with them, I make sure that I take them to do stuff together, and not really. I wouldn't say it's favoritism, but with the oldest, I feel like I kind of try to do more because like I feel the other two, they're with me all the time, right? So when I do get my oldest, I take her to Carowinds, I'll take her to Dave and Buster's. I take her on trips, like on her birthday, I try to go all out. Like I try to do, I'm basically trying to make up for lost time, so it's not favoritism, but it's more of a I try to do more because I'm not there as much. So with the my two youngest. Well, one. So basically, my oldest is turning 16 this year. My middle child is 12, turning 13, and I just had a baby last year. So the little baby, she don't know nothing's going on. She's just running around happy. But the oldest kind of feels resentment because they live with me and they got to, wake up with me every day. And, if I go to the store, I take them out to McDonald's, I take them to buy food, I take them to do stuff. And the mother, my first mother, my oldest, she's kind of not in the best position, I'm gonna say. She's kind of, she's living rough. She's got, it's a lot of stuff she's got going on. So I try to help her out as much as I can, and she does good. She's raising her kids. She's got 6 other kids, well, 5 other kids. So she's raising all her kids, and she's doing the best she can do, and I commend her for that. But it's just certain things that she can't do that I try to help out with, that I can do. But sometimes we don't see eye to eye, and I don't get to see my daughter as much as I would like. Uh, and at times she used to throw up in my face like, well, when you was younger, where was you at? When she was younger. Hey, when she was younger, you didn't come see her. You were so focused on your other family, and you didn't pay us no attention. And she's right. She's right about that. Every time she used to say that to me, it kind of hit me to the point where I was like, "Man, that's a good one." I was like, that's a, I felt it right here. So it was just messed up, man. It was to the point where I wanted to do more. I said I definitely wanted to do more. And every time I get a chance, I do more. And it's costing me a lot.
But I guess I gotta pose a question, and I'm glad you're definitely in this space now and stuff like that. And I hate when they throw stuff at us. Like, dang, yeah, I can't really combat that. But do you think it could be detrimental for? I know you don't call it favoritism, but it could be seen that way, by your younger kids. Like, do you see it? It could be potentially detrimental because I only say that because I had a conversation with my soon-to-be fiance wife, all that. She was like, "You don't know that how much your presence matters and means. Like even like concerning my middle child. Like I said, I just found out about her. I
Right.
told everybody on the podcast know about it. I just found out a couple months ago, and she was like,
Yeah.
"I promise you, the fact that you just own up to it and just be there for her, it's going to make up for all the time that she lost.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you like claim her and you won her and stuff like that. So I'm just wondering, just posing the question. 'Cause I don't have no answers, bro. I ain't able to have no answers. Just for your thought process, just for you to think. Just wondering, like, what do you think about that?
So I mean, definitely being there and your presence being there a lot will help. It would definitely help, but it's like it's I would say it's more than just a presence. Like it's like you want to have that father-daughter bond.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the main thing. You don't want it to feel awkward, like when y'all are around each other. And that's hard to get. That's right there. It's hard to get. It's like it's always going to feel like did he not want me, or does he not like me, or and it's like, all right, with your youngest, you tell your youngest, hey, go in the kitchen, grab me this. Hey, go
Mm-hmm.
upstairs in your room. Why you messing up? It's right off the bat. You just, but with the daughter that's not living with you, your middle child, it's more of a kind of hesitant because you feel like, hey, like, even though you're the father, you don't feel that same type of way you do with the kids that you live with them, because that presence is not it's not really there as much as it would be if they were actually living with you. Because the ones that live with you, it's like, you take care of them, change their diaper, you raise them, you do everything for them. The one that's not with you, it's more of a just a visitation. It's like it's hard to get that bond. It really is. It really is hard. And even now, that's what I'm saying. I definitely don't have all the answers. Only thing I could say is just keep trying. And it's hard, man. Like with my oldest, she's got a boyfriend now. I want to tell, like, it's not like I don't agree with that. She's 16. She shouldn't have a boyfriend. She wants to get piercings. I don't agree with that either. She shouldn't have piercings, but her mother ultimately makes that decision. So it's like my word kind of gets dumbed down and not really paid so much attention to. It's like, oh, I don't really have to listen to what you say. It's what my mother says. I can give my input, but it's not as far as like her living with me. Like, no, that's not happening. Like, there's no way that's going to happen. So it's the fact of a respect thing, and on top of that, it's just you don't have as much power as you would have, as in your own household. So it's hard to get that bond and that respect, and it makes you feel powerless in a way. It makes you feel like you can't really tell them what to do, and that hurts. Especially when it's your kid. It definitely hurts, and it's like, this is real. As we talk for fathers, like, every man I feel goes through this. They might not really talk about it, but they go through it, like, because I know I'm not the only one that feels this type of way. When they have, it's not when it's a separate relationship in a separate household. And the best thing that I can say is, try to understand, but also don't kind of just don't fall into the way you just want to give them everything and say yes. And you kind of need to be firm with certain things. You gotta say, hey, I am your father, so regardless of what your mother's saying, I'm your father and you need to listen to me. And sometimes you got to tell them, like, hey, it's not going to work. Like, if you're going to be doing certain things that I disagree with, then when you ask me to do certain things, I'm not going to do it. That's the only way you can kind of show dominance. And then, like, it becomes real mixy, but it works. It works from time to time. It's hard to say, but it works.
Yeah. That's all I asked, because I feel you, because I went through a season where I was like, I don't want to yell at you. I don't want to make you mad at me, because I didn't know when she was gonna come back. You know what I mean? So when we had our time together, I didn't want us to be beefing. I didn't want us to have to be her crying. I didn't want to have to, I want my mommy. I want to go back home, because you're being, not being mean, but you're being strict and firm. So I went through a season, bro. I was just like, you walking on pins and needles and walking on eggshells.
Exactly.
And it's not because, anything your daughter is doing or your kid is doing. It's simply because your own mindset. It's like, this is the only time I get with you. And I won't see you until next month or whenever your visitation is. It's like, so I want to really have the best time. And so I feel you taking into all these things. So that's why I only was not posed the question, because I understand. I still find myself like you said, I might be firmer on my younger, because she's always here.
Exactly.
But then when you get the other ones in here, it's like, okay, yeah, you can't do that, but okay, baby, come here, let me love on you. It is different, bro. It is different.
More, what I'm saying? You'll let them get away with more. You'll let them do more, and it's like you said, it's hard, man. It's hard to be firm and strict with them because of that time. You don't have much time with them.
So I know for me, man, that was the biggest thing for me, just time with my kids. And we talked about presents and stuff like that, but doing stuff, like you said, building that bond. You made that statement, stuff like that, which is, as I totally agree with. But that was my biggest thing for me. A lot of times I'll be fussed out about money. I'll be fussed out about, certain other things. But I said, what about my time? Like, that's what I'm fighting for. That's what we went to court for, because I want time. You want to do all this other stuff. So was that the biggest thing for you too? Just my time. I want my time with my kids.
Yeah. It definitely was a big thing for me, because it was like, like the time that I did have wasn't long enough, and she would go,
Never.
months without seeing me, months. And it's like once you do start to create that bond, it's like you want to see them, you want that time, you want them to, to love on them, hug them, and like you want more of that time. So it's like I put it like this: when I was younger, she used to always be like, "You need to come see your kid. You need to come see your kid. You need to come see your daughter. Hey, you need to spend time with her. You need to spend time with her." And it was like, "Oh, I'll come see her next week. I'll come see her, the weekend after. I gotta work, this and that." And as I got older, I'm like, "Hey, I had more time." And I'm like, I want to see it. Let me get her this weekend. Let me see it. So it's like now the roles are reversed. It's like, oh, well, now you can't see her this weekend. Now you can't see her. And it's like, okay, but when I was younger, you wanted me to see her all the time. So what's going on now? Now that I'm older and I want to see her, she wants to see me. She wants to come over. And it's like, so what's going on? And I don't know. Like, it was like the more you fight for it, the more they try to take it away. And it's like when you're not fighting at all, it's like they're like trying to push it on you. So it's like, which one is it?
You
Like
talking. You talking.
it's I've been through it, so I get it. And it's like the even as far as like the money issue, um, it was rough at one point. It was definitely rough. I kind of I started my own business. I got my own business going, so money was actually kind of good at, it's kind of good. I'm doing better. I'll say that. I'll say I'm doing better. And I was able to provide more for the kids. And I don't know if it was more of a jealous thing, or maybe just my first baby mother, maybe she just didn't, she just probably was mad at me or something, but she didn't want me to. I'm not gonna say she didn't want me to be around the kid, but she was more on the fact that she didn't want, I guess, me to show her. Like, she was mad that my lifestyle was so different that whenever she came over here, she had a different, in fact, she had a different attitude towards stuff. And it got to the point where she didn't want her coming over here. She didn't. I know she wouldn't admit it, but I knew she didn't want her coming over here. Because she was like, you're able to do a lot more for her than I can do right now. But I never faulted her for anything that she did, because she raised her when she was younger. And my oldest, she gets straight A's. She's great at school. She's on a cheerleading team. She's respectful, and she's a great young lady. And I commend her mother for raising her like that. But it's just certain things that you know that me and her don't agree with. And there's certain things that I can kind of do that she can't really do as of right now. And that's that's kind of how it is, you know.
Yeah. Eh, it's crazy to switch up. Like
Yeah,
it was so deep for me that one time I said I wish I never act like that I wanted her. I feel like it'd been so much better life.
yeah, yeah. They
That definitely was my thought. Like I thought that a lot.
that's what they do. They try to push them on you more when you're not there. You act like you don't want them. And it wasn't even the fact that you act like you don't want them. It's just the fact that you're busy. You're focused on you at the time. You're young. You focus on your goals, your career, or whatever you're focused on at that time. But yeah, once you try to switch up and get them, they don't. Nope, not gonna happen.
Crazy. But we can't skip over the fact that you got your own business.
I
Just to
appreciate
switch gears a little bit, man, but a man, a father leading his own business, your kids seeing you lead and do that. So how was that? How was that starting a
it.
business? What is the business?
So my business is Carolina's Air Duct Cleaning Services. We got 5 stars on Google. You know, 80 to 100 reviews. Yeah, I started it. I want to say I started around like 2020, like
That's
three. That
that's the year to start everything. I swear.
was a good year. That was a great,
Yeah.
a lot of money going on that year. So,
Yes, sir.
uh, one sir, I got laid off because of COVID, and I had some money saved, COVID relief, everything. I put some money together and bought a truck, bought air duct. So we do air duct cleaning, drive-in cleaning, and chimney cleaning. We also do change outs and we chimney cabs. We do a lot basically because I have an HVAC background. I went to school for it. And I put it together, bought the truck, put the ads out. I started working with Angie's List, kind of got my name out there. And the first year was rough. The first year it was rough. The second year was really good, really profitable. We end up doing it's called Hisu Sushi. It's a corporate office we did. And that kind of got our name really out there. And I was able to hire people. Now I got a team that can go out there and do the jobs. I also still go out there and do it myself from time to time, but I like training people, making sure they know what they're doing. We did Yummy Donuts on Tavola. This is in Charlotte, but long story short, we have a contract going for Fox Sports. So we're doing their production office, their production building in July. So
Bruh, that's
yeah,
what's up. That's
that's
what's up.
a big one, and that's probably going to be the one that's more notable because it's popular. But
Yeah.
we've been working, and I also say we because it's like I got a team and my guys do good. Everybody kind of chips in, puts them together, and it was crazy. But I started off myself, man, like just me doing it, and it paid off, man. It paid off because one thing I want to say is nobody wants to see you do as good as them. And basically, with that being said, is people want to see you doing good, just not as good as them. So if
Hmm.
you're working for somebody, and this is with anything corporate office, customer service, anything that you're doing, and you have somebody over you, they want you to do good, just not as good as them. You know, they don't want you to, take their job or whatever their reason might be. So like, if you're doing good, if they're doing good and they're pulling up in a Lexus or something like that, and you pull up in a Bentley, they're not gonna like that.
They gonna be mad. Like, bro, how you get that money? Where you get that money from? I ain't
Exactly.
paying you that good.
So it's like I kind of take that with me and with my knowledge of what I was doing, and no, you're not gonna work. You're gonna work as hard. You're gonna work 10 times harder for yourself than you're gonna work for somebody else. And that was
Facts.
my goal, because the world is getting harder as it is. Everything's more expensive. It's hard to do a lot of things. So I was like, hey, I gotta buckle down and put my skills to use, and that's what I did, and it paid off, man. It definitely paid off, and
That's a blessing.
it's a blessing, bro. It's a blessing. I'm glad. I praise God every day for it. My family, they're happy, so I can't really take nothing from nobody, man. I'm blessed and I'm happy. You know.
That's a, that's what's up, bro. So you say you got an HVAC background, so you went to school for and all that. So is that where your job was? You got laid off at? Were you doing something else, or were you doing that? I thought HVAC was like ACs and stuff. It's more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah. At that time, I took a break from HVAC, and I was actually I was a tow truck driver when I got laid off.
Oh, really? You get
Yeah,
the CDLs. I'm getting mine soon too.
CDLs. I didn't need a CDLs because I didn't drive I didn't have the air brakes. It was just a regular tow truck. You got
Uh
your
huh.
little. Good man, precious, bro. That's
That
it. You know what I'm saying? It's
that's
like
just life, bro.
what it's
Life.
about. I just want to say like it's kind of hard with the oldest one though. You know what I'm saying? Like with the younger ones, they're cool. They come right up to you, grab them. But with the oldest, it's like that time, man.
Yeah.
it's kind of more of a, you know, like you said, walking on eggshells, and it's just like,
But he's also a teenager too, bro. Like that's a whole different world. I ain't ready for that. You're not ready for that.
man, these kids out here is something else, man.
And it's
So
different. Yeah, they different now, bro.
they're different. They're different. But back on what we were saying, yeah, I was a tow truck driver, and I didn't like doing it, man. I was working 12 hours a day, right? Excuse me. I was working 12 hours a day, and I think like my biggest paycheck was like $600 a week, 650 or something. 'Cause with tow truck job, well, with what I was doing, they was paying you for call. They was paying you for like, it was paying you for how many cars you picked up or something. And it was like, man, I'm working, and that's one thing. Like I'm working nonstop, and I'm not making any money. Like I'm barely able to pay bills. I'm barely able to pay the rent. And I was like, man, this isn't going to work. 12 hours a day, you know, I'm like, man, this is crazy. So like I kind of I was when I got laid off, it was a blessing. I didn't even get laid off. To be honest, COVID hit, and I told him, I was like, look, I need days off because I have to stay with my daughter, and you know, if I can't get those days off, I can't be here, you know. So they told me I can't get those days off. So I said, you know what, if I can't get them, then you know, you're gonna have to fire me or something. They was like, look, we're gonna let you go, you know, once you figure it out, then we'll hire you back or something like that, you know. So that's how that whole thing went off. And
It was for the best though, obviously.
yeah,
Right? It was a blessing in disguise.
blessing in disguise, because it was like, you know, because of COVID at that time, I was like, hey, my daughter's home because of COVID, and I can't work because I got to stay home with her, and it was COVID related. So that was it. I got unemployment for that, and from there it was just history, man. Like I just took off, and I haven't looked back.
Yeah, ain't no need to either.
Definitely not. Definitely.
So what made you do? You said gutters and stuff like that. Like,
So dry events. Dry events. Basically, if you don't clean your dry event, it can catch on fire. But they got safety mechanisms now to stop that from happening. But the lint from your dryer goes to a pipe and it blows outside. But that dryer
right?
built up. So if you're ever like drying clothes and you're noticing it's taking like 2-3 times to dry,
Uh huh.
that's probably because your dryer is full. Most people think it's like, oh, my dryer's not working. It's just
Uh,
it's full of lead. So
I'm
that
I'm people.
yeah, it used to be people too. I didn't know nothing about it. Nothing. You know, with air duct cleaning, it's basically, you know, what you're breathing in. You know, so that's very important to get cleaned out. Most people like don't pay attention to it at all, but if you're breathing in some of the stuff that I cleaned out, it's horrible, man. I'm talking about we seen bacteria, mold,
uh,
literally breathing this in every day. They're getting asthma, they're getting sick, you know, and they're wondering like what's going on. And it's like your air quality is literally horrible. You know, when you walk, you could tell when you walk into somebody's house and you're just like, man, it don't smell right in here. It's kind of like hard to breathe, and it's kind of like you're like, whoa, like I kind of want to get out of here and get some fresh air. That's most likely because either one, they didn't clean up, or two, they didn't clean it. The air ducts is horrible. And you got to think some of these houses have been built since 1970, 1980. They got AC in it, and it's never been cleaned. And some of the stuff you find in there is just amazing. It's like, yeah, yeah. So
and one thing I love about your business is it's a ever going business. Like you always gonna need, because we always gonna have buildings, we always gonna have all that stuff. So it's a business that won't go out of style. So I
uh,
love that. I
yeah,
love that.
you want to. My main thing is whatever business you do, you want to do something that is a necessity and also something that people want to do. You know, like so. What I mean by that is You could do like certain people, like they do tattoos and they do stuff that's really not a necessity, but it's what people want, it's what people like, but it's not a necessity. So you want to get something that's kind of the best of both worlds. Now I'm never knocking nobody for what they do, but the more you have something that's a need, then it's always going to be a need. Like electricians, people that do plumbing, mechanics, stuff like that is always going to be in need. So as long as you stay kind of on that, you never really going to fall out of work or something, because there's always going to be somebody that needs you. It's always something you can do yourself. So
That's a fact. That's a
yeah,
fact.
that's
So
what
I started ghostwriting and stuff like that, but it's like they have AIs now that ghostwrite for people. I was like, you could just type it in, they write a whole poem for you. I said, bro, that's my niche. I'll be doing that. I said, that's wild.
they got ghostwriters. They got AIs that you've seen the Kendrick and Drake. Drake had Tupac's voice on a track.
Really, I don't listen like that no more, so I'll be out the game. But
Yeah, nah, it was a big thing. They made it, but like the AI can actually make somebody's voice.
really,
But they had it.
man,
It's crazy, man. Like
robots are taking over.
yeah, it's getting
I
scary.
did invest in some AI stock though. I ain't gonna lie to you because it's taking over. So I said AI taking over. Let me go ahead and put those seed in there because I wish I throw in the stocks when I did make some money off COVID, like Moderna and stuff like those different type of vaccination places and stuff like that. But I didn't make as much as I could have because I kind of got late to the game. But stocks is a good way to go too, for real.
Yeah,
And it's passive. You ain't gotta work for it. You ain't gotta use your hands. You just put money in and let it grow.
yeah, passive.
But yeah, so I guess for me, it's important for me, for my kids to see me podcast, to see me write, because I'm an author, a writer, poetry. It's important for them to see me do that thing because I know it's building something in them. Because they see that, oh, daddy does this. Daddy reads his Bible every day. Daddy is podcast. Daddy's editing video. What are you doing? I'm editing a video. Oh, for your podcast? Yeah, for my podcast.
Yeah,
So how important it is because, of course, I want my kids to be entrepreneurs. I want my kids to play sports. Let them watch me play basketball, all that kind of stuff. So it's important for them to see me, not just tell them, like, okay, you need to do this, and point a figure, like, you got to be this and that. You see me do it. You see what it takes. So how is important for that? And do you ever take them on a job with you or anything like that?
So I took my middle child on a job with me, and I had her, bringing in equipment and bringing out equipment, and she liked it. I paid her, definitely paid her. She
She liked it real good.
and it instills like it instills like a sense of doing something for yourself. That's what I would say. It's one thing you can have morals, and you can instill like morals and family traditions and everything. But once you show them like, hey, you can go out here and do something and make your own type of money, and you can do your own podcast, and you can be an author. You can do anything yourself as long as you put your mind to it. And it's like you just want them to find something that they like doing and putting their mind into it, and kind of like making it grow from there, into something that they can make money for, whatever it is. It's being an artist. My daughter, she likes making slime. And I think one day she was going to school and she like made a whole bunch of slime balls and she was selling it to her classmates for like $1 and $2. I'm like, hey, there you
I
go.
love it. I love it.
It's the fact you're just doing something for yourself. We can't really keep depending on companies to give us jobs and everything. We gotta, we gotta start building stuff for ourselves and actually coming together as, like even fathers and just like family. Like we gotta come together and make it work for ourselves, instead of trying to look for outside sources. Like what you do on this podcast, man, this is it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that you did and that you created. So can't nobody take that away from you.
Can't nobody.
Exactly.
And I think the key to what you said is finding something that they like. Because I think it's hard sometimes for me because like I said, I'm a basketball player, so I want my kids to play basketball. Like who? Who? You ain't got no choice. Who? So it's hard for me. Not hard for me, but I know I got to make sure I take a step back outside of myself and make sure I find what they like, cultivate what they like. And so it'll be something that it's not something I'm forcing upon them. Because, my dad taught me a lot about basketball, but I love basketball, so it was easy. It wasn't like he was dragging me to the gym, and he actually had to beat me at the gym because I was beating him there.
Something that and that's far. And I think you have 4 daughters, right?
Well, my girl got a daughter, so yeah, but I have 3 biological, and my girl got a daughter. So as soon as we want to ask me 4, yeah.
Okay. So like me, I have 3 daughters. So it's kind of hard figuring out what they want to do because as men, we're like, like, all right, let's get these Nerf guns and shoot at each other. Let's play basketball. I love playing basketball too, and like football, video games, everything. And it's like, my kids. One of my kids is in the video games, but like they're not into all that, wrestling and everything. Like as men, what we like. So it was kind of different, finding what they like to do. So I get that, but I am having a son, Reese. I'm gonna have a son.
That's so exciting, bro. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah. And after that, I think I'm gonna get a vasectomy because I'm done.
You're done, huh? You're done.
It's too much. It's too much. But it's like finding what they're into, like, is important. It's really important. That's the main thing.
Yeah, bro. So I'm just like you. I want one more, and that'd be 5 for you, right? Or it's 5.
Oh,
right?
no, 4. That's gonna be 4.
When you have your son, you have so be 4, right?
It's gonna be 4.
Yeah. So it'll be 5 for me, including my girl's daughter. So hopefully my next one's a son. If I don't get a son, I ain't doing no more. I'm good. At the 5, I got a whole starting 5. I'm done. I can't go no more. I can't go no more, bro. I was like, it is one in the cards for your boy.
Guys, I get it. But hey, I'm gonna pray for you, man. Me too.
Yeah. I'll keep him up praying. But I really, really love the daughter love though. Like the daddy-daughter connection. I never had a son, and you gotta tell me as soon as you have your son, bro. Let me know how that is.
Gotcha.
But that daughter love, bro, it is nothing. Yeah. It is nothing. It's the closest to your mama love that you're going to get. You know how your mama love you no matter what? Your daughter's going to love you no matter what, bro. Like, I love that jump.
Nah, I love it too, man. Especially when they little. When they get older, it's more of a...
I ain't ready. Don't tell me.
It's fun. It's fun. When they little, they're all over you. They're definitely all over you. So it's like, good night. I got my little one here. Let me see her real quick. I'll show you this is my youngest right here. Grab her real quick.
Oh, hey! Wave! Hey!
Say hi. She's about to go to bed. But yeah, this is the baby. There you
go. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's what it's the crazy part for me, I will say, is starting all over.
Yeah.
I was, my oldest is 16, middle one's 12, and I got a 1-year-old. So it's like I'm starting from scratch. So just getting used to everything all over again is a lot. It takes a lot out of you. I will say that.
Yeah. I believe it because, my youngest is 4, but it's like, dang, when we have those, I got to change diapers again. I got to hold their neck again. I got to do it all over again. I love it, though. I love the dependency, I guess. It makes you feel, love, worth it, something.
Nah, it does. It does. It's a blessing. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nah, that's one of the biggest teachers in my life was fatherhood. And every experience I've ever had, I'm grateful for it. Because I ain't grateful that it happened because that junk sucked. But I'm grateful for it because it's, man, it made me who I am. It's the reason I got a like. It's so many things we can reframe it. If we look at certain things always in negative light, it's just always going to remain negative. But if you reframe it into a positive light, it's like, okay, now I went through that experience, but now I know, like I talked about my first podcast back in the video podcast, I have all these experience. I know what it's like to be with my kid full time. I know what it's like to not see my kid. I know what it's like to not know when I'm going to see my kid. I know what it's like to travel. I know what it's like to go to court. I know I have all these fatherhood experiences. I can relate to so many fathers. To so many fathers. Like I know it has a easy, not an easy, but a better understanding mother, and I know it's like not have an understanding mother. Like I can relate on so many levels, and so like, what if that's part of my calling? Like, what if I had to go through all those things, like Joseph in the Bible in Genesis? He had to go through all those things so that he could save Israel and Egypt from the famine and stuff like that. What if I had to go through just to, just for people like you, just any other father I talk to, and I could relate to you, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not just creating a podcast and talking and like, oh, I'm all hypothetical. No, this is real life.
That's why I like it, because you hit on key points, and the fact that you can relate to everything, it makes it comfortable for a father to actually talk to, because we don't really do this. We don't really talk to each other like this,
We don't do it enough, bro.
It makes it comfortable, and I'm happy that I'm able to get it out, because it's a lot of stuff that I'm sitting on, that you sitting on, that we actually have in common. And it's like, if we could do this more often, if everybody could do this more often, it would be a lot, it'd be, and like I said, I commend you for doing this. It's big, man. It's big. And it's like, man, it's good to get off your chest, sometimes. And it's because it's kind of hard. You sit on it all the time, and it's like, you don't got nobody to talk to, like your friends might understand, some of your friends might not understand. It's like, hey, who will understand?
Right. And then you don't want to look soft, because we grow up. It's like you got to be hard. You can't be crying. You can't be mad. Man, the times I cried over my kids, man. I'll tell you that in a heartbeat. Too many tears. Man, and I think that is a reason too, just how we grew up. It's like you got to be tough, bro. But nah, especially this mental health stuff going on now. Like, we got to really dive into this stuff so we can lead our families.
Yeah, we got to understand our emotions. That's the biggest thing. I feel like our emotions really kind of like guides us. And as men, we cut our emotions off. We don't really want to talk. We don't want to, we don't want to do anything. We just want to focus on what's the next move, like where we're going to go from there. And sometimes, like, we need to listen to our emotions and make sure that we are okay, because that's what happens. When we kind of go numb and cut ourselves off, we cut ourselves off from our family, and basically what I'm saying is, like, when you don't listen to your emotions, and you don't feel nothing, you don't feel that love, you don't feel that caring, you don't feel that family vibes, you don't feel anything. The only thing you feel is like, hey, okay, you're happy. All right, I'm gonna keep doing this. As long as you're happy, whatever. I'm gonna keep moving around. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep doing this. You're just going day by day. You're not actually taking time to, understand what's going on. You're just more focused on, let me get through this day. Let me get through this day. Let me get through the next day. Let me get through this week. And then a week turns into a month. And next thing you know, you're sitting there and you're like, man, like, my kids is getting older. You're not focused, like, on anything else but what you got going on. So it's like, sometimes you got to get those emotions out so you can understand, like, hey, like, man, like, I'm not okay. Like,
yeah, I'm not.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not happy or whatever. So you can actually be happy again and enjoy being around your family. But what I'm gonna say, like,
enjoy being around yourself too. Shoot.
Yeah.
So how, man? Because I'm still learning. I'm still in the process of really just tapping into my emotions. I think sometimes I need to, especially with daughters, bro. We got to be able to be in tune, because that's how we understand them on their level. So I guess how have you been tapping? Have you been tapping in? Because
Um,
I'm doing it, but I'm struggling a little bit because I'm one of
I-
them hard headed ones.
yeah, I struggle. I struggle with it too, man. Some days are better than others. I will say some days are better than others, but it's like when you know, like you said, we dealing with emotions. So like, still, even now, I deal with it. Like certain emotions, I don't talk about, and I just, I'll go upstairs and I'll watch the game, or I'll get, play video games and not really talk to nobody. Some days, I might come home and I'll be, hey, you want to go get some ice cream, or you want to go, like to get some Jamaican food or something like that, or I might actually go pick up my daughter, take her to do something. And it's like, you got your good days and you got your bad days, It's just how you deal with it. Like, you don't want to completely tune somebody out, and you got to make sure that you actually are keeping in tune with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You don't, if you have your bad days, deal with it, you know, wash it off, and then still, be good to your family, still spend time with your kids, still spend time, tell your girl you love her, do stuff that makes them happy, even though you might not be feeling that way. And then, at the end of the day, when you're winding down, you can talk to your girl, your wife, or, and tell her like, hey, I'm really not, I'm having a bad day. Or this happened at work, or, this is what's going on. And y'all should have that type of bond where you should feel freely to, say something. But sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you can't really talk because, whatever, it might be money issues or whatever, and you don't want to talk to nobody about it because as men we feel embarrassed. That's another thing, we feel embarrassed, and that's kind of hard to, get over. And like I said, I'm still dealing with it. I'm still dealing with it myself. I can't really tell you like, hey, how to go about it completely, but I can just tell you from my experience what I do. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I definitely get that. I think what I do is just actually express it when I am feeling the way.
yeah,
Especially like you say, at the end of the day, my girl and everything, and let her know how it is and why I feel that way, what's going on, and she kind of helps me think through it and all that kind of stuff. So it's really talking about it. I think that's one of the key things for me, just actually not keeping it bottled up. When you keep it bottled up, it explode waste.
all right. Hello.
I got
Nah,
a
yeah,
screen over here so she can see herself. Just why she keeps looking that way.
that's what them girls. They always gonna look at themselves. But
Oh, that's a fact.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Instead of keeping it bottled up,
What?
man,
What?
it's
What?
better when you
What?
bottle
What?
up. Man, it's precious, man. I'm telling you,
No,
especially after this, it's definitely precious.
it is though. It is. It's life, man. It's life. But just like I was saying, just really just ex- allow myself to express it. Because when you a lot of times we just bottle it up. We just don't want to express it. But when you do it, it kind of flows out. And when you feel comfortable, that
Yeah,
kind of marks a good relationship when you feel comfortable to express your feelings, and that's a safe place.
yeah,
I think that's important for a woman to make sure there's a safe place for a man to express. Because a lot of times that is the problem. Like we don't feel safe. We think you're gonna take our emotions and go. You might not go tell nobody, but you're not gonna respect it in a way that we feel like as we should respect your emotions when you tell it to us.
exactly. Or they might try to use it against you. You know, that's one thing you got to worry about. They might try to use it against you. So it's like you want to make sure, like, okay, you're not going to bring this up in a situation like, hey, oh, you wasn't able to, buy your daughter this and that at a time. So it's you don't want to use that and tell them that, and then they end up using it against you. You know, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
rough,
and
man.
and if you ever had that happen to you, that's a horrible feeling. Like, bro, I express myself to you. I let you know about the past hurt, things that I've been through, and you gonna use it against me in an argument. You gonna bring it up. You gonna try to throw it back in my face. Like, oh yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, and then you never want to. Then now it's like you don't want to talk no more. Now it's like, okay, I'm good because I know as soon as something goes wrong, you're gonna oh this and blah blah.
Yeah, yeah. You make you not trust nobody, and
Yeah,
it can allow you to bring it into a different relationship too.
it's
So,
that's
like,
rough.
and so I think we got to be careful as men too, not to carry it over. Because since we do bottle up a lot, we
Hmm.
can't carry it over from one relationship to the next relationship. Because
No,
otherwise, we're gonna get the same results.
no, you're definitely gonna get the same results because you're still feeling that same type of way. And it's definitely not gonna. You're not gonna get a different type of relationship if you're still doing the same things you've been doing. You
Right.
know, so it's rough out here, man. It's definitely rough,
It,
man.
it is, bro. It is. But
Yeah.
man, hey, let everybody know where they can find you in your business. Let everybody know all about it, and I'll definitely put it in the bio as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, man. Y'all can find me cboy516, Instagram, Curtis Jenkins on Facebook. Right now we on Google, Carolina's Air Duct Cleaning Services. Look us up. I'll definitely send you the link so you can put it in there. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. For real.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure. Hey, this is episode 94. Hope everybody stay blessed.
Yeah, man. See you later.